Welcome to the Funk MMA Strength and Conditioning Podcast, hosted by Funk Roberts, former professional athlete, certified MMA conditioning coach, and master of metabolic training. Funk is one of the leading conditioning coaches in the martial arts industry today and has a following of over 500,000 combat athletes around the world. His workouts and training principles have been used by many professional fighters, including fighters in the UFC, Bellator, and ONE FC, as well as World Muay Thai champions, Glory Kickboxers, and ADCC BJJ champions. Join me in welcoming your host, Funk Roberts.
We are live, people. Welcome to the Funk MMA Strength and Conditioning Podcast, episode number 18. And we're here with my co-host, with the mo-host, Andy T in the house.
I never know when you introduce me what to actually say, so I usually just say, hey.
What's going on, brother?
I'm very well.
Yeah?
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It took us a while to get this podcast going. Fucking computer sucks, man. I need a new Mac, please. MacBook Pro.
Sponsor us,
please. We need more new MacBook Pros. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. It's been pretty crazy month, more than month plus.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep up with everything.
Yeah. We got the supplement launch coming up for those people who are listening to this podcast, which is September the 20th. Today's the 20th. Oh, the launch is the 27th. Yeah. Today's the 20th. So yeah, we've just been hammering everything to do with trying to launch.
And at the same time, just walking around all sore and shit all the time because you got to keep up with the workouts, and then a lot on the plate.
That's important, eh? Like just knowing that one of the things that, again, working on the supplements, working on, the business, the company, lots of little things that, we're kind of figuring out as we go along, and, we got a good team, but even though, early mornings, late nights still have to incorporate workouts and incorporate training, it's good that you're getting your training in on the daily pretty much, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What's the training you're doing?
My schedule has pretty much been the same. Maybe I missed one or two sessions more a week, and actually it's probably a blessing in disguise because I was going a little bit overboard there, but, still continuing with the lifts with Charles and then all the martial arts training, so pretty sore, pretty achy, but you said it the other day that it was like 12 in the afternoon. You're just like, okay, man, I just need a workout, or like, you need to go work out. You can't miss your workout. Like, we're gonna need it more than ever now. Otherwise, you don't get the stress relief, and it just builds and builds and builds, and then in turn, it actually ends up throwing things off course when you think that, I just got to keep working. Sometimes you need that break and just get that workout in, get some good food in, and then reset.
100%. That's why I started to do my my Spartan training system. I started working out at home. Just, got my kettlebells, dumbbells, a very small space, and put my follow-along workout on. So literally, I'm in the background just doing I'm in the back doing the workout, but I'm here doing it. And the reason why I like doing that is because I don't have to think about, I don't have to think about timing or anything. It's just like, okay, 45 seconds of this exercise, good. And then the time rings, and then I hear myself tell me, okay, good job, go to the next one. And then you do it again. So I like it because it's just, I can do it quickly. I get the workout in. I feel amazing after the workout, and then it just gives me a little bit more energy to finish off what I have to do afterwards.
That's like some weird altered universe. Like, I can't imagine myself on a screen pushing myself to work out. I'd just be so weird. Like, it is inner dialogue of some weird altered universe.
It's weird. It's at first when I remember you asked me this question before, and I had to think about it. At first, it was kind of weird because I'm hearing myself and kind of remembering when we shot it. I'm remembering what I said when we shot it, and then there'll be times, I'm like, shut up, man, just shut up, because I'm like dying. I'm dying, right? And so, but it actually brings me back to when we shot it and the feelings that I felt as I was shooting it, because it was tough to shoot those follow-alongs. They're like 47-minute workouts. They were tough.
Whoa. How good of shape were you
I was in
that one?
Great shape.
Better than you are now, would you say?
Yes.
How long ago was that?
That was 5 years ago. More than that. Yeah, I was because I had prepared to shoot these. So in order to prepare to shoot these, I was doing what I'm doing right now, which is I was doing the workouts upstairs in my, or wherever I was living at the time. I was doing those workouts constantly. So I was getting in great shape. That's what I'm doing right now. So like the next 4 weeks, I'm just going to, before we go to Thailand, I'm just doing these workouts, going on my long runs, doing Muay Thai.
Oh my God, we're going to Thailand.
I know, 4 weeks, buddy. October 16th, we're getting on a freaking plane and heading all the way out to Phuket.
There's a lot of things going on. I think it's just time's moving too fast now.
It's way too fast, man. I'm telling you, like, it's 3.5 weeks now. Like, we're gonna turn around and we're gonna be doing a podcast like Sunday before we leave or something, and it'll be like, holy shit, we leave tomorrow. Yeah,
it's gonna I was thinking about it the other day. It's weird right now at this point in my life where it's hard to like just stop and take a deep breath and just be like, like there's actually nothing I have to do right now. But then it's always like on to the next. Like I'm here, and then if I'm not here, I'm in transit driving to the training facility. Then from there, I'm driving wherever. It's
home
like
or whatever. Yeah,
fast paced.
Yeah, there is no time to.
Not right now.
No, we'll have rest when we step off that plane.
Yeah,
we'll have some time to just go. But probably not, because then we have to go get our training, and then I literally want to train right after. As soon as I get off the plane, I can't remember what time we land. If we land in the afternoon, but if we land in the afternoon,
I think it's 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. or something like that. So
if that's the case, I'm literally going to Tiger. I'm gonna book, and I'm gonna get a session at like 4 o'clock, a light session, just because when we're on such a long plane ride, it's really good to do some type of a workout, some type of a high intensity circuit, just to help you with the jet lag. So
just move.
Yeah, just move and get just get everything going, and then you just crash after that, like literally crash and get back into. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, the goal is always when I get off a plane, especially if it's like a long flight, like halfway around the world type of deal. Is just tough out. Like if I land in the morning, just try to tough it out till when people sleep at night, and then fall right into the pattern, rather than just like crashing and then like I'm awake when nothing's going on, and everything's going on, and I'm asleep.
And you know what? There's a couple things you can do there. There's drinking a lot of water on the flight's huge, but number two is as soon as we get to Union Station, as soon as we get to Pearson Station, we change our clocks to Thailand time. So as soon as we get there, we're like, okay, Thailand time. And every time we look at our clock, we just know that that's Thailand time. And as we're flying, we're going to start to adjust our bodies as much as we can to Thailand time. So that when we land, when we're sleeping, we're not sleeping on the time of whatever we're sleeping. Oh shit, it's this is what time it is there. This is when we should be sleeping. You know, it's funny to this day when I go into my iPhone and look at my clocks, because you can add world clocks. It's all the places I've ever been and all those time zones. It's funny thinking about other people's time zones. Totally. I have the same with weather. I have all my weather. I just go to all the places I'm going to be going to, or all the places I've been, and just be like, oh shit, look how hot it is in New Orleans. Oh, look how hot it is in Thailand. Oh, Australia's killing it. Yeah, that's hilarious. So yeah, anyways, today we are going to talk about the most important nutrient for fighters' fitness, macronutrient. 100%, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Protein. The building blocks of your body. The building blocks of your body. Yeah, we just wanted to, probably this is going to be one podcast where we're going to talk nutrition. We've talked about nutrition before, but now we're going to dive into protein and things to look for, ways to get protein in, things to look for when looking for protein supplements. So kind of like this is going to be like everything you wanted to know about proteins and protein supplementation that you ever wanted. And, again, for anyone who's training in martial arts, or anyone who's training in fitness, high intensity training, CrossFit, any type of fitness or fighter, specifically martial arts, even if you're never fighting, if you're just training, you need to ensure that you're getting enough protein into your diet, like real whole food protein, like real protein. It's funny how big of a difference it is when you're focusing on your nutrition and you're not. Like the difference between soreness of like a training session and I'm really focused on my nutrition. I have my meal prepped and I eat right after and have protein shake right after.
And then when I wake up the next day, the feeling of that soreness versus like when I wait an hour and I have to drive home, and then you know, I didn't have anything ready, so I didn't actually get enough protein, but I kind of ate a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and just snacked a bit. And then when I wake up from that, it's like night and day. Like I'm still sore.
Yeah.
But it's just different.
100% it's different. And you know, the amount of, well, just nutrition in general, when you're prepared, we've talked about this before, you know, it speeds up your recovery, speeds up your muscle building, you know, helps with, you know, just keep the inflammation down. You know, there's so much, and then helps you to, just gives you that energy to, whether, depending on when you're training throughout the day, will give you energy to last the rest of the day or the next day too, you know?
Yeah. The first block of the nutrition game is preparation. Like just learning how to be prepared first, and then once you get that hunk down, then it moves on to like more micro details, like what you're eating, when you're eating, how you're eating, and portions and all that stuff.
Totally, but the preparation comes first.
Yeah, being prepared.
But I mean, protein is definitely the most important. You know, it's the body's building block. It's the most important macronutrient because it's found in all of our muscles. It's found in our tissues. It's found in our bones. It's found in our everywhere. The muscles. I think I mentioned muscle, skin. And the thing with protein is our body doesn't produce it. So we have to get, like, our body produces carbs and fats, but we have to make sure that we get our protein from outside sources and continually replenish our protein sources.
Intake.
Always. So we can't just go. I mean, we wouldn't live without protein. I mean, we need protein to live. You know, proteins are made up of 22 amino acids, and again, our body needs all those amino acids in order to function properly. And
full amino acid profile when for protein.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, like we mentioned before, like you won't survive. You know how I equate this to real life situations when it comes to you can't survive without protein is like whenever I'm in the hospital, I've had like surgeries before. And when I ask them what the drips are, there's always a protein drip. They always have to feed you protein. You know, there's other drips or whatever that they're giving you to stay high or whatever, morphine or whatever. But there's always a protein drip. And the reason why is because our bodies, especially after surgery, we're not going to that extreme, but our bodies need it. So, and we're not producing it. So they've got to have that protein drip in there to make sure it's in there. So that should give you just right there. That should like make you think, shit, man, fuck, that does make sense. Like, I got to get my protein in.
And then you take that, like a regular guy that gets surgery, and then, okay, so take that scenario, and then you think about just like a high performance athlete or anybody pushing themselves physically.
Yes.
They need that even more. It's extra. You need extra of that.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better.
From the right sources.
If you're listening to this right now, you probably train in some way, and we, meaning us, you listening, Andy, myself, and everyone else, we need more protein than the regular person, like my mom, or just a regular person who doesn't do anything or just goes to yoga, or, you know what I mean? Like the sedentary person, we're different. We need more protein. We're more active, and we do more things to break down our muscles and break down the tissues, and we need to replenish them. So repair. So it's really important that, you know, protein is going to help our body to change. It's going to help us add muscle. It's going to help us to recover. It's going to help increase our metabolism. I don't know if you know this, but protein has what's called like a thermic effect. And basically it's like the thermic effect of food. Carbs have it, fats have it, and proteins have it. And basically it takes your body to expend more energy to absorb and synthesize protein than it does fats and carbs. So really protein is like a fat burner in a sense. Like your body has to work. You know, just to break it down, it's got to work even more. So again, having those good, clean sources of protein is key, you know?
Yeah, that's why you, that thermic effect thing, that's why you always heard like people talk about cucumbers and celery. Yeah. Like usually like, you know, people trying to like maintain their weight, they're like, yeah, this is pretty much neutral. You know, it's like free calories.
Yeah. Well, you know, vegetables do have that. Like sometimes they'll say that, like, because vegetables have 0 calories, right? But it does take the body time to expend it. Yeah, to expend it, like to break it down and to digest. But yeah, totally, I get that.
It's just sparked that up for me. I don't know why I thought about that.
But And then, then there's the whole thought of, okay, well, how much protein? This is a big thing because everyone's got their different thoughts on how much protein does a person need every day. And, the industry standard is 1 gram of protein per muscle. So basically I say, 0.6 grams to 0.9 grams per pound, or 0.6 grams to 1 gram per pound, depending on if you're female, depending on how much you weigh, like all that stuff. And I think for me, it's even more for someone who's active. Like we're going to need even more than that. So maybe 1.2, 1.5, but I don't think, so that's key right there. It's like kind of like, okay, if you just stick to the 1 gram, if you just stuck to the 1 gram per pound, I think you're going to be okay. But if you're active, me personally, I say we need more. That 0.6 to 1 grams per pound is like more for regular people. Like just regular. They're not taking that you're doing martial arts 4 days a week. They're not, and lifting heavy. They're not taking into, you may be training for an actual fight where you're training 3 times a day. They're not taking, that you're doing high intensity workouts. They're just taking into maybe someone who goes to the gym and does, the traditional training and kind of spends time diddly daddling, or someone who doesn't even train, right? But the thing where you can just make sure that you get enough protein is making sure that you have a source of protein with every meal. Pretty much when you put something in your mouth, you always ask yourself, where's that source of protein? And that way you're just like, oh shit, yeah, I gotta eat protein. 3, 4, 5 times a day, get your protein with your meals, specifically with your meals, 100% with your meals. And if you can, supplement protein in there somewhere with snacks or post workouts or that type of thing, that's the way to go.
Smoothies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I knew how important protein was.
Yeah.
But I really been learning how much protein matters since I started like Olympic lifting and doing all these like strength training stuff, and like my body's so broken that like I know that this is what my body needs right now, just to get over the soreness, get over the hump, like get ready for the next day and the next day and the next session. So and every single meal for sure.
Yeah, and then that's the whole thing. Like that's when I say like your body's broken. Especially if you're a fighter and you're listening to this right now, or you train martial arts, and you do jiu-jitsu once day one and Muay Thai another day, or go to Muay Thai 3 times a day, 3 times a week, or wrestling or whatever, your body's breaking. Your body is broken, and you need to recover. You need to get as much protein in so that your body can recover faster, your muscles can grow. I know it's not about it's more about recovery for fighters than it is about muscle, but performance, recovery, the ability for you to come back the next day and train just as hard as you did the day before, all of that. There's a lot of other factors, but the main factor is that protein intake. Getting that protein intake in will help with all of this, will help negate that kind of stuff and help speed up recovery.
Right. It's like you're 100% and then you go in and do a workout and then you're operating at 50%.
Right.
Getting all that protein back in and repeatedly over and over again to try to get yourself back up to 100%.
Yeah. It keeps you at 90.
Yeah. You're literally broken. I mean?
Yeah. Because you're always breaking.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, yeah, you're always trying to get back to 100, but
sometimes
you're not going to be at, but if you're at 90, you can still work hard at 90 as opposed to like breaking at 50, not having protein. Then you're down to 40.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's like 2 steps forward, or 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah,
the protein
exactly.
Type of thing.
Yeah, as opposed to going forward. I mean,
1
step back, 2 steps forward with
exactly.
getting the protein intake in. So yeah, and the key is getting protein from real foods. Getting from real whole foods. Things like egg whites and fish and chicken and turkey and beef and Greek yogurt and cottage cheese and obviously protein supplements when you can, but the key is getting it through real food right away.
Right. The word supplement is there for a reason, to supplement your diet, right? So
exactly.
Never the main source of protein, but definitely something that I've been using more and more to even 2-3 times a day. Just like, I mean, protein supplements, if you can get a nice pure one, and mixing it with your water, it just feels like nothing went into your body, you know what I mean? But you get the benefits of the protein, whereas sometimes when you depending on the structure of your training, you can't have a full meal before,
Right.
Or like you don't want to. Some people like Mauricio, my coach, in the morning before he trains, doesn't like to have a lot in his body. It's like literally water, coffee, and a banana, and then that's his training. Some people like to have big meals, but like me, honestly, I don't like to be too full when before I go to train, but I need something to run off of.
Yeah.
Then that's a good time for supplements.
Yeah, for sure. And then again, post-workout, right after your training, is a good time for supplements. If you haven't prepared, listen, we can all sit here and say, oh yeah, preparation's key and we got to prepare, but none of us can prepare 100% of the time. It just, things happen in life, things go on. Sometimes you didn't have enough time to get to the grocery store, to get the food, to prepare. So having the supplementation, even though you know how to eat clean, even though you're eating clean, even though your best intentions, like, okay, yeah, you know what, I'm going to eat 3 of my meals are going to be super clean, or 4 of my meals during the day are going to be like real foods. I'm going to get, chicken, vegetables, some healthy fats, avocado, this meal I'm going to have this. And then 2 times a day, I'm going to supplement that with, a protein shake, protein powder, protein and water, whatever it is. That's clean. That's amazing, because you understand that you're trying to get as much in from real food, but you also understand that, man, life's busy. You got work, you got kids, if you have a family, you got training, you got to drive from here and there. You don't have time to, if you didn't have time to put together food. So you don't want to stress out about that. You know what I mean? Because when you're not prepared, then you start stressing. It's like, oh, fuck, man, I didn't prepare, and I'm like, fuck, now I got nothing to eat. But if you have a supplement there to say, okay, I got this clean supplement, it's the closest thing I'm going to get to real foods. I'm happy about the supplement, so I can take it whenever I need to in order to get me through to the next step. Right.
The best way it was, like, protein supplements specifically was described to me, like when I was first learning about them, because I've worked in supplements, was an insurance policy on your muscles. Yeah. It's an insurance policy on your muscles, and a lot of people go, well, you don't need supplements because you can just get it through real food. But I think that's a bad mentality, because why not? If this thing is actually available and it's something that can enhance your life, and you can get benefits from it, why would you shut that out of your life and be like, oh no, you can just get it from real foods? Well, why not have all the real foods and then have the supplements as well?
Listen,
I don't get that philosophy.
I'm going to tell you something. The people who tell you that, the people who say you can get it through real foods, are the bullshit artists. They're the bullshit artists that can't afford supplements, or I don't need supplements. They're not getting enough from real food, because the people who understand, like Mike Dolce, for instance, he understands. He's the king of getting your thing to real foods, but he also understands that sometimes you got to supplement that, especially if you're a martial artist or an athlete, a professional athlete, or just an amateur athlete. There's no way you're going to be able to consistently get that through real food, because it's just timing. Unless you have a company who's going to make all that food for you and they deliver food services for you, then that way you don't have to worry about that. Or you have a cook who's going to cook for you the whole time. But 99.999% of the people in the world don't have that. So it's those people, like, whenever I hear someone say, oh, I don't need supplements, I get them all, I'm all natural, whatever. And first of all, I look at what they look like. Who's telling me this? And I'm like, okay, well, I see that they're a little frail, or you can see that they're a little broken, or they're fat, or whatever. So I'm not really taking that I'm not taking that at heart.
Right. But for the people that maybe aren't surrounded by the right-minded people, and they have people telling you, like, you don't need supplements, you don't need this, you don't need that, you can get it all through real food. Well, get it through real food, and then supplement on top of that. Just because, it's your body, it's your life, and it's like, why go down one road when you can go down another road that's almost identical but better?
Exactly.
You got to add one more step in your life, which is opening a canister or whatever it is and scooping something into a bottle and shaking it and then drinking it like you're drinking water.
Right.
And then some people are all like, oh no, you don't need to do that. Well, it's taking 1 minute of my time, so I'm going to do it anyways because it's going to make me feel better.
And it's 100%, not just making you feel better, but it's actually doing things, benefiting your body, benefiting your mind, benefiting your muscles, benefiting, the ability for you to perform better, or just be better, be a better person, be happier, have more energy. I'm not saying to take 1 million supplements, but here's the other thing that I know 100% is as you get older. So for those of you who are listening who are, I'm going to say 40 plus, for sure 40 plus. But if you're like a fighter or someone who's, sorry, I always say fighter, but if you are an athlete, a combat athlete, someone who trains in martial arts and you're like over 35, 1,000,000% you need supplements. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When you hit 40, your body does not do the same things that you were able to before. You don't have this much testosterone. Your muscles are not growing as fast as they were when you were younger. You can't recover. You get sore more, joints hurt. So you need to supplement with whatever. Like today we're talking about protein, but kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent, but I wanted people to understand how important it is for people over 40 who want to live a healthy, happy, active life. You need to supplement, especially if you're training in martial arts or training in a sport. You're a weekend warrior. Our bodies are not the same. We want to think it is, but if you're listening right now, like there's mornings you wake up, you're like, fuck, man, I used to be able to. That's what you always say. I used to be able to go, 2 hours on the rink and then go drink beers with my buddies, and then next day I look awesome and be able to get up and go to work. I can't do that anymore. Why? Well, why? Because you're fucking older, and two, because your body can't metabolize and deal with all the junk anymore. You have to focus on putting real healthy foods into your body, and you have to focus on supplementing as much as possible to help get as much into your body as possible.
Right. So on the flip side of that, so that's kind of the older guy.
Yeah,
I used to be able to, and for the younger guys like me right now, I'm doing Olympic lifting, and I see the gains every week. The numbers go up every week. And on my end, it's like, okay, man, now I got to really take things seriously so the numbers keep going up. So I keep seeing the improvement. I'm like 20, I'm 23. So right. The numbers just keep going up. And the way to keep the numbers going up is to tighten everything else up. Be very serious about nutrition. Be very serious about everything I take in.
Yeah.
And so the mindset is like, how do I get to the next? How do I get to the next? How do I get to the next?
Yeah, totally. I agree, man. That's a great way. But yeah, because for us old guys, supplements are huge. But for the young guys, it is too. Mm-hmm. Because if you want to make those gains, it's the right supplements.
Right.
That's the key. It's the right supplements, not the pre-workout shit and all this other stuff that are just full of sugar and just making you big and fat and giving you upset stomachs and that. So it's the right pure supplements. So you may only take 4 or 5 or 3 or 4, whatever it is, when you're younger. Mm-hmm. When you're older, you're probably taking 10, a little bit more, because you need the supplement. That's just life. I mean, I remember remember when my aunt was like 60 years old or 65 years old. She used to, I just think of my one aunt, she used to have that
case.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? And she would take her pills. It's like, yep, I got it. I'm 60 now, man. I got to fucking take my pills. This is life as you get older. Sure, there's going to be that one person go, oh, yeah, I'm going to live my life without taking pills. And yeah, that's great, buddy. Good for you. But 99.99% of the world are not like that. And you shouldn't feel bad about that. There's so many people taking prescription drugs, and those type of drugs are really breaking down the body and breaking down the mind and making people addictive. But when you're supplementing with good supplements, good food, it's the life cycle, man. As you get older, you're gonna have that little Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday thing. You're gonna have it, like literally, you're gonna have it, or you're gonna have cups, and then you're just gonna have to, okay, this is what I got to take, and take it as your supplements. But then you eat food throughout the day.
It's funny that you say that about like the prescription drug thing and them being addictive. And when I was working at a supplement store, we had this one customer come in, an older guy, but I would see him every 2 days, right? Every 2 days. And, I got to know the guy a little bit. And then one day he just says to me like, man, I spend too much money in here. I have a problem. And then I go to him, I'm like, well, at least you're spending it on something that improves your life and it's going to help your well-being. And, there's a lot of people your age spending this thing on partying and booze and alcohol. And then, you know, he looked at me, he's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I actually don't really feel bad that I'm here every 2 days. And he's, you know, he loves to look on the shelves and look at all the new stuff. And like, it's just one of his things. It's just part of his life.
I love it. I love that.
That's just a funny story.
No, I love that story, man. It's it's amazing. That's totally going to be me, I'm sure. When I'm like 70, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to go to the supplement store. See what's knowing that you probably didn't get anything new, but just, oh, look at this. Fucking krill oil. Oh, look at this.
Oh, I saw this 2 days ago, but I'm just going to look at it again.
Totally. It's a healthy addiction, right? It's a healthy addiction. I mean, again, it all depends on what supplement you're taking. If it's the right, it needs to be the right supplement, not like, you know, a supplement junkie and you're just taking shit that's not doing, because a lot of supplements, most of the supplements out there actually are not doing your body.
Oh my God, dude.
Like, you know, right, Andy?
So here we go. When I was, this is not even related to the supplement, when I was working the supplements, when I was like 18, I had me and my 3 roommates, we all had a house and we all started working out. So we all went to the supplement store, you know, and we got weight gainers. We all got weight gainers. We all got shaker bottles. We all got this fucking pre-workout called One More Rep. And the funny thing about like pre-workouts and like younger people with supplements is they want the shit that's bad for them, right? So when we went in, we were asking them for the last formula because they had to reformulate the product because it had banned substances and it just didn't it wasn't industry approved. Like they weren't legally allowed to produce it, and so they had to reformulate their product so that their ingredient list fits the mold of whatever the standard was, right? So, you know, when you go in, do you guys have the old formula, right?
Totally.
And so we were fucking drinking pre-workout, and when you drink the shit, it tastes artificial. It tastes like
you're putting chemicals
in. You're drinking something from a test tube. And then we just go in like fucking hyper as shit and do the worst workouts in the world. And then you know, we do these what we call bulking, and I'm sure a lot of people still do this. I mean, we would take weight gainers. At the time we were using I think it's literally called Mass Gainer by like ISOFlex. The same people that make the ISOFlex products. All Max. So we had that which is like, by the way, 36 grams of sugar per serving or some crazy shit like that, or something up to that. And you know, we just eat shit. It was all about calorie intake. I'd be eating KFC, drinking this weight gainer full at work and all the time, full as shit, and just getting fucking skinny fat, doing fucking skull crushers and shitty bench press and like just terrible workouts. So, I mean, the moral of the story is like, stay away from that pre-workout. I don't know why I went on that.
No, it's a good rant because I've been in the fitness industry for 30 years pretty much. Well, I was a professional athlete before that, but, you know, like 25 years at least. And throughout my whole life, you know, one of the things when I was younger is I wanted to be a bodybuilder. Like, I always wanted to be a bodybuilder. So I was one of the more jacked volleyball players. Volleyball players they're generally tall and skinny, and I was 5'11" and like just I had a lot of muscles, and I was like puffy muscular, but in the summer I'd get a little bit more lean.
Oh, I didn't even touch on the cutting season. What we're gonna do?
Well, there's no such thing as cutting, because once you get big, there's no fucking cutting, right?
Well, what we thought was cutting.
Yeah, you don't know what do you think cutting was?
Well, what we do is we dirty bulk. We'd be like, yeah, bro, I'm just going to get up to 170. And then in the summertime, I'm going to cut down to 155.
Sure you are.
And then every time you go down to cut, it just never happened.
No.
You just stayed like a
fat.
For me, it was skinny fat.
Right.
For one of my roommates, it was a bit, you know, fat. It's just my build. I'm taller. Naturally skinnier.
Yeah.
And so you just got just little. I just had a little bump gut at the bottom. And I'm 18, 19, treating my body like shit and just uneducated. That's all.
No one knows how to cut. Bodybuilders know how to cut, but regular people, there's no such thing as cutting season. There's no such thing. I mean, you think there's such thing as cutting season. You're like, oh, I'm bulking up. It's winter now. I'm going to bulk up, get to like, 190 to 205, and then, you know, springtime comes, I'm going to cut down to 185. Sure you are, buddy. First of all, you have no clue what it takes to cut down to that and lose all of that and gain and keep your muscle. Second of all, you don't have the intensity to do the conditioning that you need to do in order to cut that weight. You just finished doing 9 months of fucking bicep curls, concentration curls, fucking
eating shit.
Yeah, like you think you can click it like that? If you could click it like that, then you wouldn't need the bulking session.
Right.
You would know how to just take your body from where it was and get it a little bit more muscular, a little less lean, nice and ripped.
I think that's the
misconception.
Yeah, that would be one big takeaway. I know we're kind of going off a little bit, but like the whole philosophy of bulking up, like this big dirty bulk and then cutting back down, and then winter comes and you bulk back up and you cut back down. No, just build from ground zero.
Yeah.
You just start from where you are today and evaluate what the type of results you want and then go from there.
Yeah, stay lean. Like just
don't buy weight gainer.
Yeah, still focus on staying lean and getting and cutting now, and then once you get to like that lean cut, like 10%, 9%, 10%, but excuse me, body fat, then you move into, okay, now I'm going to build some more muscle,
right? Not
mass, but muscle. So now I'm going to change my workout style that will add muscle, more hypertrophy training, still keep the protein, still keep the nutrition, but maybe add more calories. So you're and clean calories. So you're going to cut first and get lean first, and then you're going to go, okay, now that I'm lean and I'm ripped, and I've got 9% body fat, now I'm going to put on some muscle and I'm going to focus on, focus on more calories with clean eating, so more carbs, and then focus on hypertrophy training. So because you want to build size, so you're going to have to do more hypertrophy training, and then just make sure that I'm always aware of my body fat percentage, right? Because it's going to go up a bit, but you always want to be aware of it and throw in that high intensity training. That's how you would do it. You don't bulk up and then try to cut. You don't know how to cut. So who are you cutting for?
Right. Unfortunately, there's a big chunk of the supplement industry that kind of relies on younger people or uneducated people. Like, man, that was the weight gainers were the most the product that I was the least comfortable having to sell somebody when I was working in a supplement store, because well, number one, just the type of person that came in, it's not their fault. They just didn't know.
Well, like, that's what I was gonna say. It's not anyone who's listening to this. It's not your fault. I did it. I went through the.
Me too.
I'm gonna bulk and cut phase. So I'm not saying this like, oh, look at me, I don't do. No. I've done it multiple times in my life. Oh no. Okay, this time I'm gonna bulk properly and cut. No. This time I'm gonna bulk. I'm gonna do it right. I've got my Muscle and Fitness, this magazine right here. I'm gonna bulk up. I get to 215, 220, and then it's fucking maybe get back down to 210 because it's too hard, Yeah. So what were you saying?
No. Yeah, it was just
it's not your fault.
It's not your fault. There's a big chunk of the industry that relies on uneducated people to purchase their supplements. That's just how they make money. So like things like weight gainer and pre-workout.
Yeah.
And even working in a supplement store when they did educational training for me.
Yeah.
Like there was certain products like protein and stuff where like they could just rally off a bunch of benefits and like how you go about telling somebody about protein, like this is what protein does to your body, this and that. And then when you got to pre-workout, it was just like I was like, so yeah, what about the health benefits of pre-workout? And the guy that was training me, great guy by the way, just goes, they're just fun. He looks at me and just they're just fun,
so bad. But you're right, there's no benefit to taking pre-workouts.
No, it's not gonna make your workout any more productive.
No.
Like if you don't have the intensity and drive to have a good workout, pre-workout's not gonna help you.
No.
It's just shit.
It's shit. And you're putting shit in your body.
Yeah, exactly. You might as well drink a soda.
Yeah.
If you think you need pre-workout.
Yeah. No, like,
it's not gonna help.
My beast mode coffee, there you go. That's gonna be your pre-workout if you're a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
MCT oil powder with, coffee and green grass-fed butter. But we'll get to that in another podcast.
Right.
Beast mode, baby.
Yeah, that stuff hyped me up.
Did it?
Yeah, it did a little bit. Yeah, just if you didn't notice, I just rallied off for a little bit there more than I usually.
Yeah, beast mode.
Yeah, so just supplementing protein, but it's like what we were talking about before, where it's like the first phase of nutrition as preparation, the first phase of supplements is understanding, the core supplements that you need, one being protein, and then going one step further than that, because there's a gajillion protein supplements on, to have a protein supplement, you just need to put protein on the front and have at least a gram of protein in there, and you can call it a protein supplement.
Exactly.
So after knowing that you need a protein supplement, it's identifying the different types of protein supplements, what you want to stay away from, and what you want to actually purchase.
Absolutely. So that's a good segue. I mean, just before we go in, there's what's called the biological value of protein, and it's something important because this measures how well the body absorbs and utilizes protein based on nitrogen retention. So there's whey protein has the highest biological value of 104, which means it's the best type of protein that you can get, followed by egg protein, followed by milk protein, which is like casein, beef protein. Whey protein's got a 104, egg protein's got 100, milk protein has 91, then there's beef protein has 80, soy protein 74, and plant-based protein 49.
So that's the amount of protein that your body is actually able to absorb.
It's the value. It's just that value of how well it can absorb it. So, right away when you look at something like plant protein, your body's not going to absorb it as well as whey protein is. So you want to get the higher BV, biological value of protein. That's the highest one you want to try to get in. So that's why we always talk about, getting it in through meat, getting in through eggs, being a good source of protein. Good source of protein.
Yeah, the fastest digesting protein would be like whey or whey isolate specifically, and then I think concentrate and concentrate's 45-minute digesting time. Isolate's between 10 to 30 minutes depending on the purity, and vegetable protein is between 1 to 3 hours. That's what depending on what the product is.
Right. So whey protein, we would definitely want to be drinking whey isolate. Yeah, sorry, whey isolate. Definitely, after workouts, maybe in the morning with your, maybe as a snack. Casein. Did you say casein? Milk? You just said milk.
No, I didn't. No, I said concentrate.
Oh, concentrate. Sorry, fuck. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself.
It's okay.
So let's talk about the different types of protein supplements out there, because there are different types that are out there that people listen. Again, what we're trying to do with this podcast is to educate you, so that you can, at the end of this podcast, know, okay, these are things I need to look for. These are things I gotta stay away from. This is what I want to be putting into my body. These are things that I can, I can relate to. So one of the things we want to go through are the different types of protein supplements out there, because there are different types of protein supplements. So you will go to a GNC and see a fucking massive, shelving unit filled with different proteins, different types of proteins. So it's really important that we can separate them and know, okay, this is what you would use this protein for. This is probably what you wouldn't use it for. So the first protein is weight gainers. It's high in carbs, lots of sugar, probably 30 to 40 grams of protein. It's mostly whey concentrate. It's got fructose and maltodextrin, and it's high glycemic. And it literally leads to the most fat gains.
It's pretty much cheap shit ingredients. It's all about numbers for weight gain. It's not about quality or purity. It's funny, just real quick about GNC. If you do go into a supplement store, I don't recommend GNC, only because if there's another option for supplement store, I would try them out first, just because GNC, their employees actually work off commission. And so when you go in and they do recommendations, oftentimes they're not looking for what's the best thing for you. They're looking for what the best margin is, so that when the employee goes home, they get more money. Just throwing out a quick tip. So if you go shopping, avoid GNC if you can, just because you're not going to get your best interest isn't in mind.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I had gone to a GNC about a year ago to get some BCAAs for my wife. My wife likes a specific BCAA, which by the way, we're going to be making BCAAs that are better than the one that my wife likes, but that's besides the point. Not just because we always want to make, when we're creating supplements for our supplement company, we always want to make the best quality supplements. So anyways, so I had to go in there and had to get some BCAAs, and you know, I had picked out one, and they were pushing me to another one. She just walked up to me, and you could tell she knew nothing about fitness. She was a heavier set girl, but she's like, oh, no, you want this product, you want this BCA because whatever. I'm like, well, what's the difference between this BCA and this BCA? And she had to look at it. She had to fucking take the back of it. She had to read the one, read the other, and kind of like look and see, well, this one's got this, and then like she's kind of stumbling. She just knew that this was the BCA number 1 was the one that she had to sell me because she's going to make the most margin off of. BCA number 2, which is the one that I wanted, she didn't know. She couldn't tell me what was better. She just knew that this is the one she needed to sell me. And so when I asked her to you know, tell me what the difference is. Like this one says it's this, but this one says it's this. What? Why? So you have to look, and she's trying to read it, and she's stumbling, and I was like, oh, man,
automotive. It's a lot more clunky.
Brutal, man.
Yeah, like
brutal.
When you go into a supplement store, the person should have very good product knowledge, and they should have an unbiased opinion. Like you know, people that work in Canada hourly at a supplement store, it doesn't matter what they sell you because they're going to get paid the same thing.
Right.
And so now they just want to sell you what they think is the best one.
Right.
So now it's your best interest put in mind.
Absolutely.
So just a little tip.
Yeah, that's a great tip, man. Yeah, so...
anyways, don't buy weight gainer because it's
weight
literally in the name.
Yeah.
And...
weight gainer, not muscle gainer.
Yeah.
And you don't want to gain, again, it's like if you want to put on some size, it's through nutrition, it's through your calories. You're going to have to increase calories, and it's clean calories. So really you're adding more protein, you're adding more carbs, like more rice, more potatoes, you know, and it's just more calories per day. Like instead of bringing in 2,000, 2,200, you're bringing in 3,500. So right. If you really want to gain mass, then you have to be focused on, okay, I got to eat like then you got to prepare because you got to be eating like a crazy person.
And if you ever taken weight gainer before, and I have
too,
the feeling in your stomach, in your gut, and the gut rot, and the lethargic, tired, fatigue feeling because you got to drink fucking 3 of these a day on top of your meals. It's like, why am I even doing this to myself? It's actually weight gainers are for people that don't have the patience or dedication to put in the time. They want the fast track results, and in turn it burns them bad. Because if you are using a weight gainer to speed up results, and then when you get to the end of the road of that weight gainer and you're fat, you probably don't have this work ethic and drive to go back the other way.
And going back the other way is hell.
Harder.
My wife used to be a bodybuilder, high level bodybuilder, won bodybuilding competitions, and it's hell for her. You know, it was definitely hell for her to cut. You know, if you're a fighter, you know how hard it is to cut. And fighters like bodybuilders do it scientifically, right? Because they're cutting
numbers.
Their cuttings are like 8 weeks long. Like they're cutting for a longer time, where fighters are cutting a week before. So it's unhealthy. So both are unhealthy, right? But both are very, very hard mentally and physically to put yourself through. So trying to tell yourself that you're going to get to 195 if you're 165, and then you're going to cut back down to 175, but you're going to be lean and ripped, man, you're fooling yourself.
Yeah.
You're honestly fooling yourself. You can't do it. I mean, maybe you can do it if you have the knowledge of a bodybuilder, but you wouldn't be taking weight gainer.
Exactly.
That's the whole point. Like if you're taking a weight gainer, then that means you don't have the knowledge to rip, to get lean. So, you know what I mean? Like if you have that knowledge, then weight gainer is not even going to be. Are you kidding me? Why the fuck would I take weight gainers? I want to hold on and pack on some hard fucking muscles so that when I rip down, it's hard.
You look good. Hard, you don't look like a
puffed
like
out.
a guy that was fat that tried to not be fat in a week. You know what I mean?
In a week. Yes,
and,
exactly.
And any coach, trainer, or anybody that knows what they're doing, if you ask them about weight gainers, they'll tell you absolutely not. And if they really know what they're doing, if you want to do a type of weight gainer style beverage or something like that, you'd make it naturally by yourself.
Or you just a shitload of like a smoothie with a fucking
shitload of shit, and
good
just
stuff,
all packed.
Packed.
And you're gonna be full,
nutrient dense, lots of carb sources. You know that'll help you. Yes, that's 100% how you do it. So weight gainers, number 1. Number 2, meal replacement powders. So meal replacement powders are they're a mix of whey and milk protein. They've got carbs, which, you know, are within that formula, and usually they're slower release carbs, so like brown rice and like carbs like brown rice and oats. They're kind of low glycemic, but again, I would never use a meal replacement. You're not doing a meal replacement when you're taking protein. That's not what your goal is. Your goal is not to replace a meal. You need to eat those meals. The goal is to supplement that protein intake, maybe after, especially after a workout. Right after a workout, you want to get the protein in, or when you wake up, you want to put it in, or making sure that you get a source of protein with the meal if you're not able to, or with a snack.
Right. Meal replacement is the lazy man smoothie. Like that shit. Like I think about Lean Body. That's the one that instantly comes to my mind. And I think meal replacements, especially now for this up and coming fitness generation, they realize that that's some old school shit. Even all the marketing and the packaging, it's like old school stuff. Like just that's just like a low level smoothie. You might as well just take the time and make a smoothie if you want a quote unquote meal replacement, because that's what I do.
Yes.
Protein powder, bananas, dates, you know, vegetables, fruit smoothie. Yeah. And you're going to get way more benefits from it. And then you can also qualify that as a meal replacement.
And real food too. You're putting in real food and just, you know, smoothing it up, right? Like it's not the shit that it's not, you know, meal replacement MRP crap that you're putting in, you know, like it's real food. You know, you don't want slow release carbs. Like again, you're going to gain weight. Yeah. Right? You're going to gain weight on this, and it's not sustainable. It's not a sustainable thing when you're just replacing your meals with drinks. I don't know anyone in the world who's stayed lean just by drinking lean, like for years. Right. For years. Maybe like, sure, there's people who've, you know, lost weight using, you know, whatever meal replacement you see on TV, those whatever companies have that out there. They did it for 4 months or 5 months.
Still not healthy.
But then it's after they're done, it's when their body bounces back. That's the key. You need something that's sustainable for years. That's your goal. So eating clean plus supplementing with protein, that's like the right protein powder and right supplements, that's sustainable. Right. Right.
And just really another product that preys on uneducated people. For instance, Slim Fast. That was a meal replacement smoothie. And then all these, you know, girls, because that's probably their demographic, gravitate to Slim Fast because the name says Slim Fast. But in fact, if you look on the back of the label, it's nothing that'll make you slim fast. Right. It's actually the opposite.
Totally.
It's actually, it should be fucking fat more. fat fast or something like that, you know?
Totally. And again, there'll be people like, well, my girlfriend lost, you know, 10 pounds on Slim Fast. Yeah, but now what does your girlfriend look like? Right? What does your girlfriend look like now? Maybe she did 2 years ago. She did it for like, I remember one of my old girlfriends, she used to do Jenny Craig. Right. She used to do Jenny Craig, and she used to do it to like, she used to use Jenny Craig to lose weight just before the summer. Right. And then after that, it would be like, she would just put the weight back on. After, like, you know, in the middle of the summer, the weight would just go back on. And
it's a money grab.
Yeah, I would just be like, oh yeah, well, because Jenny Craig's easy. I don't need to think about it. I just eat their foods and blah blah blah. And then she would lose maybe 10 pounds, maybe. But she doesn't realize that a lot of the weight loss is also due to, you know, if she's holding water, depending on the time of the month, you know what I mean? Because they're always focusing on standing on the scale, which is not going to tell you exactly the more accurate thing that you want to see. It's more your body. It's your body composition that you should be focusing on, not the number on the scale, because sometimes I'll wake up and I'll be 190 pounds and then 2 days later I'll be, you know, 180 pounds, and it's not because, it could have been just because I held water from what I ate the day before. I may have had, you know, something that was sodium heavy or something that would help me retain water. So, and then plus women have periods and all that kind of stuff happens. So the moral of the story is, you know, using these. So yes, you probably could lose a bit of weight in the front end, but it's the back end in the long term that you got to think about.
Yeah. And, you know, I just had a friend recently go through this, which kind of meshes perfectly into that, is like when a bigger person tries to lose weight, the weight falls off no matter what different protocol they do, as long as they're eating less calories and maybe a little bit of exercise. it's so easy if you're 250 pounds overweight. It's so easy to lose 15 to 20 pounds.
Sure.
Easier to lose 15 to 20 pounds. And then after that 15 and 20 pounds, it actually takes effort to lose weight.
Does.
So then, you know, it's just, like you said, not a sustainable life thing. Like, you're not changing your lifestyle at all. You're just drinking Slim Fast.
Yeah. And you know what? Again, we're not knocking people here because we've gone through this. I mean, I've lived with someone who did the meal replacements. You know, it's not like we haven't gone through it. We did through the weight gainers. What we're going to go through this, we've both gone through this. So it's not like and you work in a supplement store, you've seen this. So we're not like knocking you, but we want you to go like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like that's kind of like what the reaction we'd like. Oh, that makes sense. Or let me look into that a little more. Make you start to think a little bit.
Honesty. It's just honesty. This is just you know. Sometimes you have to hear it. If you're one of these people that fall into the mold that we're talking about, it's just you have to hear it.
You need to hear it.
We're telling you how to fix it. So
yeah, exactly. We're going to tell you how to fix it. So the next one is protein powders. That's the next type of protein, and the key is not all protein powders are created equal. That's the problem. But you know, protein powders are generally low in carbs. They maybe have 5 grams or less. They've got 20 to 25 grams of protein, maybe sometimes more, 28, 30. The calories are pretty low, 100 to 125 calories. And then there's different types of whey protein. You know, grass-fed whey isolate's probably the best.
Right, the cleanest.
It's the cleanest, but there is different types of protein. So this is where you have to be very smart.
Yeah, you got to just know what you're looking at. So one is just identifying what you're looking at to begin with. So just learning how to read labels. So when you go into a supplement store, you know, the first thing you want to ask is where are your isolates, where are your concentrates. Concentrates you usually want to stay away from, although the price point is better that you pay for what you get. What you get in a big mistake a lot of people have is they walk into a protein supplement store and they just think everything, oh, this is all protein on the walls, so I can just get whatever I want. I'm gonna get the one that's $39.99 instead of the one that's $89.99 because that one's cheaper. I'll get more out of it. This one's bigger, but that's not the case. You know, like concentrates and blends. You know, you can get a blend. So
what's a blend?
A blend is a mixture of different proteins.
Like what?
So you could have whey isolate, whey concentrate, casein, and goat milk protein.
All in the one.
All in the one. So what they'll do is on the label, in the ingredient list, they'll list all of those proteins, and then usually the marketing is kind of like this one's fast, this one's slow, so it's like different time release and you're covered all the time and this and that. But what you have to understand with blends is they group together the amount of grams of protein as a total, but they list the 4 ingredients on there, but they don't have to disclose how much of each is in there. So if you have whey isolate, which is the highest quality protein in a blend, and you also have and there's 30 grams of protein in a serving in this blend protein. There's isolate, there's concentrate, and there's casein. There can be 0.5 grams of whey isolate, which is the stuff, the high quality stuff, you know, 20 grams of whey concentrate, which is the cheaper, not so good stuff, and then, you know, 8 grams of casein. So you're just getting shitty protein, but they're allowed to put that. They put high quality protein in it, but they just don't disclose it.
And they market, and the marketing actually
fools a lot of people.
Fooled me because I was taking a protein that was a blend. You know this.
We had this. Oh man, we had this conversation.
Oh, fuck.
You would not.
I wouldn't budge. I know, because I was so fucking brainwashed, and I was. And then it's so funny because I would actually promote this protein, right? Like I would promote this protein, and I would use it, but I didn't like it. I was still getting fucking like upset stomach and had the farts and, you know, just my you know, cramping. Like I didn't like the protein, but I was so freaking like sold on it was, listen, man, this is a blend. It's got casein, it's got milk protein, it's got whey protein, it's got whey protein isolate. So, you know, it's all timed released, right? And people would ask me, well, how the fuck does your protein know when to release the casein for nighttime? Right? Because it's like, oh, then you have casein that you could have at night, slow release. So they market it like whey isolate right after your workout, perfect. Whey concentrate whenever. Whey, casein whey before you go to bed, and all time releases. And people would ask me, how the fuck is that time release? And I would just be like, well, I don't know. You know, I wouldn't say I know. I'd be like, well, you know, that's the way that it's mixed, so time release. Fucking no clue.
The best part was I was working in supplements, and I come over to your house, and you're like, man, this is the shit right here. This is all natural. You know, all the shit that that are all on the shelves, that shit's full of sugar, this, and that, and
then you broke it to me with the blends.
Yeah, well, now you know.
Oh, it's 100%. Like, and listen, that protein it was grass fed. It didn't add artificial sweeteners. Like, a lot of the stuff was great. It's just the blend.
And it was also underdosed. So you gotta look at the serving size. You know, it was like a 20-gram scoop with like 10 grams of protein or something like that. Which is just
it sucked, man. It was just I feel bad. But I'm making it up to you guys by creating this amazing protein. But I'm making it up. Listen, I had to go through all this in order to understand, okay, this is high quality protein. I had to go through all this. I had to promote fucking, oh my God.
That was terrible.
Totally.
So you got
I think it's still on my website. Anyway, sorry.
Gotta take that one down.
Go 100%.
Don't look on the website. No, just kidding. So we have blends, which are a mixture of different sources of protein, but the companies aren't always honest with you. They don't have to disclose how much protein is coming from what source. So pretty much protein. Okay, so this is why it's important to know where you're getting your protein source from, because you know all protein, whey isolate proteins come from milk from cows, right? And so you have to always take into consideration the living standards of where the milk is coming from.
Right.
Would you like milk from a grass-fed cow that's free roaming, that lives a happy life and, you know, lives a natural life and gets proper nutrients through the diet that it's supposed to eat and that it's been eating since that animal has existed? Or would you like milk from a cow that's stacked on top of 10 more cows in cages where they can't move left and right, and then they're eating fucking whatever antibiotics are pumped into them and grains and all this shit? Would you like milk from that, or would you like milk from a healthy cow?
Totally.
So pretty much with protein, they milk cows, they take that milk, they bring it to a cheese facility, like just a factory. They separate what they call curds and the whey protein with an enzyme, and then they take that the whey and then they filter that into whey concentrate, and then they can further filter that into whey isolate. So whey concentrate is like 80% purity, so it still has like fats and you know, if you have a sensitive stomach or you have lactose problems, it contains a lot more lactose and carbs and things like that. And then when you microfilter it again to a whey isolate, it's virtually lactose free, and there's pretty much no fat, half a gram of fat maybe. So what you end up with is a way more pure product. So if concentrate's 80%, whey isolate could be 90 to 93% purity. And if you've ever taken a protein supplement, you just feel the difference. Like whey isolate, when you just have it with water, it feels like you just drank water. Like there's nothing else in your body. It just feels like you feel like you're still at neutral. Whereas you drink a concentrate, like your stomach's upset, you feel a bit more full, you're fucking shitting everywhere.
Diarrhea, gas, fucking indigestion.
Anyways, once they filter it, that liquid, they spray it onto boards, dry spray, and then once it dries off, it forms protein powder. Then they take that protein powder, that isolate or that concentrate, however far they filtered it, and then they add the extra ingredients, you know, like the sweetener, you know, a lot of whey isolates. Here's another one. whey isolate's the highest quality of protein that you can get, and then there's subcategories to that whey isolate. So there's whey isolates that are sweetened with sugar, sucralose, artificial sweeteners, preservatives, things like that. And then you got whey isolates that are sweetened with stevia, natural sweetener, natural flavoring, like nothing
extra,
no
hormones, no
none of
soy,
that shit,
none of that stuff in there.
So ideally, from a whey protein standpoint, if you really break it down, the highest quality protein that you can get is a New Zealand grass-fed whey isolate. Reason being is the living conditions, number one, in New Zealand, all their farming regulations, they are very strict. Like their cows have to be raised a certain way.
Right.
And so you just end up with the better product. Isolate, because it's filtered again, so you get more purity. And if you're curious about the purity of your protein and you have it near you right now, you just grab your protein, turn the label, and divide the grams of protein to the serving size, and that percentage will tell you the purity of your protein. So if you have a protein that's a 30-gram scoop and on your label it says 28 grams of protein, 28 divided by 30, 93% purity. That 93% of what is in that container, in that scoop right now, is protein. The other 7% is going to be the stevia that it's sweetened with, or whatever it's sweetened with.
Yeah, depending on what the protein is.
Depending on what the protein is. But, yeah, pretty much the stevia, the flavorings, and if there's any add-ons on that whey isolate, some brands put a bit, I've seen glutamine, I've seen this, I've seen that. They'll add that in. You got to take that into consideration. But that's like the purity test. Divide the amount of grams of protein by the serving size, and that'll tell you how pure your protein is.
Awesome. That's good. That's awesome stuff, man. I love it. Just got a little knowledge bomb.
Knowledge
bomb from Andy T. That's amazing stuff, guys. And again, you can Google all this stuff, but you got served. We got a positive serving of protein knowledge.
It's a pretty simple trick. Like, I just advise everybody to do that, and you can tell. That's like the most telltale sign to tell how pure your protein is.
Yeah. And now there's other types of protein out there. There's the casein protein, which is slow digesting, and there's nothing really wrong with that. It's just it's slower digestion. There's a little bit more lactose in there because it's made from milk. So if you're lactose intolerant, you're probably not gonna deal well with that. And for the athlete, for the fighter, you don't need casein. Your focus is recovery. Your focus is making sure that your body has the protein throughout the day. If you're a bodybuilder, I can see where you'd add casein, because your bodybuilder, you're trying to like build muscle, and you want during the nighttime and you're sleeping is when your muscles are repairing and breaking down and repairing, and they're breaking down during the workout, repairing at night, and feeding that the casein and the protein within during that time is a great way to help speed up that muscle recovery, so that you can go back tomorrow and break down the muscle again. But you're not doing that as an athlete. Your focus is on performance based, and the byproduct of your daily training and your good nutrition is going to be a lean, fit body, right? That's going to, and then your strength and conditioning, that's going to be the byproducts. You don't need to worry about, I got to feed my muscles at nighttime, unless you're going to stand on stage and you're going to physique, bodybuilding, whatever. Then I would say 100%. You'll probably need a whey and a casein. Get two, right? Because your focus is standing on stage and winning that freaking bodybuilding contest. But everyone else who should be training, not should be, but athletes. More athletes are listening to this podcast, so you as athletes, you want to focus more on the whey isolate. There's soy protein, which I would 100% stay away from. The protein value is really low. As you remember, we talked about biological value. The biological value of soy protein is 74 as opposed to 104, which is whey. And then you have plant-based. And I know that vegetarians have a very hard time, and vegans have a very hard time getting protein. I don't know. Like, I'm not a vegan. I know my wife was a vegetarian for a while, and she just found it a little bit harder to get more protein in. If you're a vegan, and I know one of our friends is vegan, and she always she always complains that it is a little bit harder for her to ensure she's getting enough protein. I guess that's where you probably will need to supplement. And I know you can't have whey and egg and milk and beef, so you may have to supplement a plant protein, and you'll have to look at the label to see how much protein you'll have to take. But that's a real big time where I would see a normal person who's not as active would really need to supplement with a protein. Again, the protein you're getting from a plant-based protein is only, the biological value is only 49, so it's a very low absorbing type of protein, right? You're not going to get, even if you're taking it a lot, you're not going to get what you'd get out of a whey. But I understand that as a vegan or vegetarian, you guys have your own restrictions.
Yeah, that's the only time that I really feel that plant-based protein is
essential.
Sustainable or acceptable. Really, is if that's the lifestyle that you live. If you're a vegan and whatever your moral ground is, or that's your decision and that's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great.
Yeah.
And plant-based protein is definitely for you.
But you understand that you're not going to absorb a lot of protein with that. So, but again, your vegans know what you know.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. What I would 100% steer people away from is if you're not a vegan and you think, oh well, and this happens a lot because, and this is again, it's not your fault. It's because of we created our protein powder. I hadn't used a protein powder in like a year because I didn't leave me with stomach and digestion stuff and the farting and the diarrhea. A protein powder that wasn't making me full of sugar and making me feel a little bit fatter than I wanted to. Something that, like, protein should actually keep you lean. Yeah, it's not to make you fat. It actually leans you, especially after anything I was hanging on.
Right.
And so I said, I don't have it, and I could feel it. Like, I'm 48 years old. I know that I need more protein every day. So it was very hard for me to continue to get protein in through food, knowing that, man, I wish I had a protein. I used to always talk to Angela, my wife, the same thing. There was no protein powder in the house that we could use because we would just be like, do you want to take that protein, or are we just going to like fucking sit here and try to like, tough it out? That's like, so we could have got the protein in there with that protein powder. Like, we look at each other like, there's no fucking way we're putting that protein in our body. We're putting that protein powder in our body. So what happens a lot of times is people will start taking these proteins, have the same effect as I do. Stomach feels like shit. You're not absorbing the protein, because that's another problem. Just because you're taking the protein doesn't mean you're absorbing and synthesizing the protein to amino acids, just because of our digestive systems in general are shitty as a
human being.
As human beings. So what happens is people go, well, I need a lighter protein. So maybe I'll go with plant protein, thinking that, okay, well, plant protein's not going to have all the side effects that you're going to get from the other proteins. So they'll go to the plant protein, but not realizing that you're not getting a lot of protein from that plant protein. So you might as well not even take the protein, because you're not getting enough protein in from the plant protein. Your body's not absorbing, not enough is being absorbed, I was
going to say that about your supplements downstairs, the old ones that you don't use, because, supplements and protein supplements are supposed to be they're associated with health, building muscle, fitness, like healthy lifestyle. Yeah. But then you get all these proteins that are in fact the opposite.
Totally.
Like, you're actually doing
damaging
more
your body,
harm
yes.
than like, now it's not about the protein. It's about everything that's inside that protein as well.
Right.
Like, should I take this protein? It shouldn't be, if you have a shitty protein, it's not really like, hey, should I take this protein? It's going to make me feel like shit. It should be like, hey, should I take this protein plus the sugar, the 10 grams of sugar, plus the sucralose,
yes.
plus the fucking organic cane sugar,
the
plus
hormones,
everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, just real quick. Whey, because I missed this before. Whey protein concentrate can be anywhere between 25 to 89% protein, 4% to 52% lactose.
Whoa.
And 1 to 9% fat, whereas whey isolate, 90 to 95% protein. So from 25 to 89, that's concentrate, to 90 to 95, like minimum 90% purity with whey isolate, as long as the company doesn't add a bunch of other shit in it.
Right.
And 0.5 to 1% lactose.
So, oh wow, that's like
major drop.
Yeah. So we're saying here, stay away from whey concentrates. Is what we're really saying. because you don't know whether it's going to be 25% protein or 89% protein. And you were saying something that was really cool about, like, if it's 89, if a company's going to put it to 89, then they might as well have
made an isolate.
Right. So it's generally not going to be 89.
The reason why it even says 89 is because isolate is 90 to 95, you know? So
they need to have a cutoff.
Yeah, they need to have a cutoff. They just brought it from minimum to, okay, what's one under isolate?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So
most of those concentrates aren't even close to 89. I mean, we can't 100% say most aren't, but we're telling you that most probably are not.
Yeah, but like
as a company, we're a company. We're now, listen, we are now educated in the supplement world. So we understand where if we wanted to, we could have made a supplement that had 25% whey concentrate, whatever, and had all these fucking sweeteners and all this other shit, and then market the shit out of it. We could have done that 100%. But we're like, no way, man. We want quality. I want to be able to use this. You want to be able to use this. My wife wants to be able to use this. And we want to be able to tell you guys, okay, we are 100,000% that this is going to be a fucking amazing supplement for you guys. Right. That's kind of where our mindset with every single supplement that we make. We're not out to make an extra buck. We're not out to do that, because then we'll just be doing what everyone else is doing. Right. And I don't have time. You don't have time. We don't have time to do that. We want to make sure that our supplements are the highest quality supplements, or high quality supplements, so that you know that, okay, I know that I'm taking these supplements. I know that they're high quality. I'm good.
Like, I'm taking these supplements.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take these supplements. I wouldn't sell these supplements or be comfortable selling supplements if I wouldn't take these supplements.
Totally.
So it's really just like creating supplements for us and kind of passing it on type of thing.
Yeah, because sometimes Andy and I will get into discussions like, okay, we're going to make this BCAA supplement. What am I making like this? It's like, no. We're not. We're making this fucking. Listen. So it'd be like, okay, Andy, let's try to get the people are asking me for BCA, so I want to try to get this done by December. And Andy will look at me. He's like, no, we're making high quality. So if it's gonna take till next,
has to be
March,
custom made.
Yeah, then it's gonna take till March.
It can't be something that is ready to go, because ready to go is never the best.
Right, as we talked about with our ready to go drinks.
Oh, is that the next one?
No. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to quickly go through the last two types of protein supplements.
Yeah, we kind of tried down there.
No, it's good. I hope you guys are getting some information. So basically at this point, we're going to talk about the things you need to look for, because not all protein supplements are created equal. So we're going to go through the last couple of proteins, and then we're going to talk about like what to look for and things you need to watch out for. I know that Andy touched on it, but there's like 4 or 5 things that you just like, if you know these things, then when you go into the supplement store and you look at it, you'll be like, okay, Funk and Andy said not to do this, and this, and then I'll be able to pick out a supplement that you know is right for you. So the other 2 types of supplements, one is protein bars, or chocolate bars, really, because that's really what they are.
I've seen in all the
chocolate bars,
in all the protein powder, all the bars. Protein bars I've ever sold or ever seen on shelf, there's only been one that I've ever looked at and been like, you know,
this is pretty good.
This one's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't feel bad eating.
What is it? We can tell.
Daryl's bars.
Daryl's bar.
They're local. They're
Toronto. Like Canada,
Ontario. Like, I don't think you'll find it outside of that, but it's like actual ingredients and whey isolate, so they don't use concentrate. A lot of these protein bars use concentrate and
carbs and sugar.
Sugar. It's a chocolate bar.
Yeah, they're weight gainers pretty much.
Yeah,
they're weight gainers. They're eating a chocolate bar. They taste good, don't they? Because it's fucking full of sugar.
They taste good. And man, that's the one that always kills me, when like somebody like shows up and I'm eating healthy, and it's like they have a protein bar. I'm like, no man, turn that label over. I'm gonna fucking point this out right now, and you're gonna see. Yeah,
and again, I was the king of protein bars. In fact, I used to have Lean Body, whatever, Labrada, and God bless you, Lee Labrada. I love you. You're one of my favorite bodybuilders. Always have been. I love how ripped and lean you were. But I was the king of protein bars. But that was when I was 215 pounds of puffy muscle. You know, if I look back at all the like weight gainers that I, mistakenly, because I have mistakenly taken them and in the past, and I've taken them too, and then all the protein powders I've taken, and I looked at my body composition, that's when I was big and 215 pounds of puffy muscle. you know, like just big and puffy. And I was young then, so I could get away with, when I say get away with it, I could still like maneuver. But if I was that now, oh, my life would be
hell.
It would be hell. 48 years old, and I mean, there's a lot of 48-year-olds out there that are big and puffy. So I know I can only imagine how uncomfortable that is, how uncomfortable your joints are, how
day to day
the back hurts, how, you know, you look at yourself in the mirror and it's like, fuck, what the fuck happens? But sometimes you look at yourself in the mirror and you see what you saw, what you used to be. That's another problem, is you look in the mirror and instead of seeing what's really there, you're looking at the mirror and then you're seeing what you used to look like.
Right.
Reality is not there. Sometimes what you need to do is literally just take off the shirt, look at yourself in the mirror, and just go, okay, it's time to work, man. It's time to put in the work. It's time, because 48 years old is, or 40 years old is not late. 48 years old is not late. You can turn that fucking shit around and live another 30 years. Imagine living another 30 years.
Great.
Feeling great, fucking looking good, dating fucking 20-year-olds, driving around in a fucking, you know, souped up car, going, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
whatever you want.
Yeah, just, I mean, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to, I'm just being funny.
Yeah. I got you.
But, you know, it's not late. Like when you're 48, when you're 50, it's not late. You can
it's
be
never
like,
too late to
no,
turn it around.
you just turn around. You just got to put the work in, and then it just becomes,
real life
habit. Yeah.
But with protein bars, real quick.
Yeah, please.
Just pretty much stay away from protein bars unless you find a protein bar and you turn the label around and, you know, it's actually what it's advertised to be. There's no added sugars. You know, the source of carbs is from a good source of carbs. So like the one I was talking about, Gerald's bars, the main source of the carb was sweet potato. They used whey isolate as
Really?
Yep. They used whey isolate as the main source of protein.
Wow.
There was 1 gram of sugar that came from honey.
Ooh.
All
right.
So
I'm not mad at you, Daryl.
If you can find,
I wonder if this is the same Daryl that I know.
I don't know,
the
but
supplement store.
his sales rep came into the store and destroyed that toilet. He wasn't eating Daryl's bar, I'll tell you that much. It was so awkward too, because like it was me and like 2 other people there, and like we're just like, what the?
Speaking of destroying toilets, last night I went to train. I won't tell the gym out, and I won't point out who it was, but we're training, and then Angela and I are doing abs, right? Angela and I are doing abs after, and there's a class going on, and a girl had just come out of the washroom behind us, right? So Angela and I are doing our ab workout, and then Angela keeps looking at me like, you fucking stink, man. It's like, check your ass. She was literally telling me to check my shorts. You fucking shit your pants. I'm like, honey, I did not. I'll tell her when I poo. And she's like, honey, you stay. And she would say it again. I'm like, no. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me go check my pants. I thought, okay, let me go check. Maybe she's right. Maybe I sharted and I didn't realize. And when I walked into that washroom, oh my God, I almost fucking puked. I can smell it right now. I was like, oh my God. And I walked out. You know, when you go in and you walk out like this, you're like, oh my God. I walked out and I'm like, honey, it's fucking in there. And she's like, no way. And it was a little girl came out of there. Yeah, a little girl that came, not like a young girl, like a short girl that came out.
She just dropped a demon.
Oh, she.
The best part is your wife blamed you twice. Holy shit.
As usual, she's like, no. I go, honey, you know I'll tell you when I fart. Like, come on. I don't hold that in. She's like, fuck, man. She look over me like mad. Like, you know what I mean? Like that.
I know the exact face.
Yeah.
I can picture.
Did you just fucking check your pants? I'm like, okay. And she had convinced me that I farted when I shut my pants. How did I get convinced? So I fucking walked in there and I put my hand down my pants. And I'm like, nope, it's not me. But as I put my hand down my pants, I'm like, I took a whiff and I'm like, oh my God. I had to fucking hold my breath, wash my hands off, and fucking walk out. Oh my God, man. It was so bad. And then we started to continue. Lonnie hits in there and we started laughing. And then she's just like, wow. And then we remember who came out. Like, wow, she
drank some Whey concentrate.
What the fuck happened to her, man? Oh, it's so funny.
Oh God, where were we?
We were at ready to drink. So that's the last one. Ready to drink protein. So you know those protein
muscle milk.
Yes.
ISO. Peer 100
yeah like, and Labrada had those ready to drink
they did,
which were again I used to drink those too, thinking that, you know, It's a quick snack. I can get my protein in, but once again, they're low in carbs, but they have a lot of sugar.
With a name like Muscle Milk,
well, here's the thing.
It's so easy to get convinced.
Oh, totally. 100% Muscle Milk.
And
100%.
their fucking packaging looks awesome.
Yeah. In fact, we have to. So here, let's. This is how we're gonna break this down for you. So during weigh-ins, so I work for the UFC, and I work with the fighters. So I work for the UFC. I work with the fighters, and so basically, from the time they get off the plane to we walk them out to the fights, to the octagon. Well, not right to the octagon anymore, but we walk them out, get them prepared, and everything in between. So we do the weigh-ins. So we coordinate the real weigh-ins, which is the morning of between 9 and 11 local time, and then we do the public weigh-ins. So we make sure that they get on the bus, we make sure that they're lined up, and they go out one at a time. So one of the things that we do throughout the week for the UFCs is we do what's called a grocery run, the grocery grind I call it, because it is a grind. Because what we do is we buy groceries so that they have food for after the weigh-ins, they have food for fight night when they actually get to the venue. We have to make these packages, and every fighter gets a package, and there's things in the packages. And one of the things that we have for the rehydration portion of it is muscle milk. We have to get muscle milk or something close to it that has sugar, that has carbs, not high in sugar, but has those carbs and has, protein as well, a protein carb mix type drink. So imagine that they're drinking that so that they can replenish. It's one of the things to help them replenish from a weight cut. But if you're drinking that thinking that you're getting a pure protein source, it's the sugar that they need too, as they're rehydrating, a bit more sugar because they've dehydrated themselves. Obviously that right there and then should tell you that this is not what you should be drinking as your protein source, right? This is something that is really good for rehydration, really good maybe for a post-workout. Maybe you may have it because it has carbs in it. But again, I would stay away from it because it has the sugars. Remember, here, guys, these are the things that we're doing right now. We're trying to, as a fighter, we're trying to create a nutrition and diet plan, nutrition lifestyle that allows us to eat whole foods, keep inflammation down, give us energy to train, supplement with whatever supplements we need to supplement from the foods we can't get, help us to recover. I think I said that, build lean muscle, burn fat, keep us lean, keep us strong. If we are the regular person, we're trying to do everything to, again, keep inflammation down, stay lean, build lean muscle, burn fat, stay healthy, be active, and that sort of thing. Keep inflammation down, all that stuff, and just have a healthy lifestyle, energy throughout the day. So basically the two things. We're not trying to, so when you're adding things that have a lot of sugar in it, that's going to negate both the performance and everything you need to perform, recover, and train and perform, and burn fat, build muscle, stay lean, stay healthy, keep your energy levels up. So that's why anything with sugar you want to stay away from as much as possible. Ready to drinks you definitely want to stay away from. I was just telling the story about UFC. Okay, so like we mentioned before, not all proteins are created equal. So there's a lot of things you need to look at, a lot of things that supplement companies don't want you to know. And this is something that's really important because now we've talked about what the best protein that you should be looking for, which is whey isolate, right? That's what we want to be looking for. We want to be looking for a grass-fed whey isolate, which would be great. And even then, we're not 100% going to be able to absorb the protein just because of our own digestive issues. But there are other things that you need to look at. Andy had some great, look at the labels, look at the percentage of protein in it, some great things, but there's a few other things that you guys need to know so that you're extremely educated when you walk into a GNC or walk into a Popeyes or walk into, a health food store and you're like, okay, I need a protein powder. These are the things that I don't want. These are what I want. I want an isolate. I don't want a weight gainer. I don't want a meal replacement. I don't want, a concentrate. I want an isolate. So take me to your isolates. Now I get to the isolate. Let's look at, is it hormone-fed isolate or is it grass-fed isolate? I know I said hormone-fed, so it's not the same. And then the other thing you have to look for are fillers. So do you want to talk to the fillers?
Yeah, so you just got to, okay, so once you establish the isolate section, and then you establish the difference between the whey isolates and the New Zealand whey isolates on shelf. Then you got to go down kind of the ingredient list. So what's the source of sweetener? How is this tasting how it's tasting? Is it sucralose? Is it an artificial sweetener, or is it a natural sweetener? Is it a combination of both? You know, there's some that, you know, put naturally sweetened but will have both. So you just got to double check that label. And usually they'll sweeten with something like stevia. Sometimes you'll see organic cane sugar. I like to stick to the stevia.
Yeah.
And then you gotta just check the amount of sugar, if any sugar.
Yeah.
Because there is protein isolates that have sugar in them.
Oh, of course.
Zero sugar is the best, obviously.
Yeah.
And then just go through the label, check if it's lactose free, if it's soy free.
Do they have dextrin or glucose or
Right.
gums or thickeners? Right. Some of the fillers they add are thickeners and glucose. Sorry, keep going.
No worries. You got to check if there's any certifications. Is this product produced in a lab that's up to standards? You know. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
And then that purity test again.
Yeah.
Also, you got to check the serving size. So always check the serving size, because some companies protein supplements, a lot of it comes down to branding. So, you know, companies will throw 60 grams of protein per serving on the front, 50 grams of serving on the front. But when you look on the back side, that's per 2 scoops.
Right.
And so a lot of people will take the one thinking that they're getting 60, and just being able to check the purity, anything added, and then the actual source of protein. And then once if you literally take all those steps and you go into the supplement store, you can look at that shelf and rank it from 1 to 5.
Right.
Which one's the best, which one's the worst.
Right.
Just with that information.
Yeah, and that's really important information to know, because you got to be educated when you're getting your protein. You don't want to throw your hard-earned money out the window. Like, how frustrating is it that you're going to go and go, okay, I've got a $59 protein, I got a $79 protein, I got a $39 protein, I got, you know what? I'm just going to go with the $39 protein because it's cheaper. And then you fucking get zero gains. You're getting fatter. And every month month 1, you put $40 down the toilet. Month 2, you put another 40. Month 3, now you're at $120 down the toilet. You're fatter. You're in less shape. Now you got some health issues. You got to go to the doctor. You got to pay your doctor bills. Why not pay the $89 or whatever it is, let's say, the higher quality, to know that, okay, this is going to build me lean muscle. This is going to keep me lean. This is going to keep me healthy. This is going to, I'm going to be able to supplement this with my regular nutrition. And this is going to get me the gains that I need moving forward, so I don't have health problems. I don't have to go to the doctors because I'm getting enough protein in here. You got to think it's all about quality. That's the key. It's all about quality. It's your body, man. Why the fuck would you want to put shit in your body?
Another couple things. This is now off shelf. If you're an online shopper,
yes,
you gotta also pay attention to reviews that you read, where you're reading them from. There's proteins that are priced at a high price, but shouldn't actually be at that price. Like, right. Off the top of my head would be like one that always comes to mind, because everybody always buys it and they always tell me they're using it as Optimum Nutrition.
Right.
That gold standard.
Right.
It's not an isolate. It's priced at the same price as an isolate. And then all the reviews are good, because if you go on bodybuilding.com, 5-star reviews all over the place, and they probably have some affiliation. So just be careful when you read reviews that it's actually coming from real users, right, versus like websites that have incentive to promote certain products.
And you know what? I'm going to tell you something right now. When you drink a protein powder, you should not, I repeat, you should not be getting cramping, bloating, gas, diarrhea. Like, that's not supposed to happen. That's not like, you're not supposed to be, oh, well, I'm having a protein powder and that's supposed to happen. No. That's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to feel fucking fatigued and like all of those side effects, bad skin and headaches and kidney stuff. And that's not supposed to happen with protein powders. You're supposed to be able to take a protein powder that absorbs quickly, that doesn't give you stomach pain, that doesn't give you weight gain, that doesn't give you gas, that doesn't cramp you, goes through your body, makes you feel good, gives you a bit of energy. That's what protein powder, and 99% of the protein powder on the fucking shelves does that. So people think, oh, it's normal. Yes. It's not. Protein farts are not normal.
Yeah, that's so...
They're not normal.
Since I started using, like, I mean, I haven't had protein farts in so long because I've known what protein to pick out.
Yeah.
Actually, I did have protein farts one time because I was like, you know what, I'm going to give this another shot. And obviously it was just shit again. Right. But, yeah, you just don't get it from... It's so unfortunate that that's the feelings associated with... the negative feelings are just normal now. Like, people just accept it. This is what happens when I drink protein.
Yeah, no, it's not supposed to happen.
I fart and I shit my pants.
Yeah, I know. It's not supposed to happen.
No.
100%.
No.
No way. Nothing you put in your body should make your body feel that way. No way. Fuck. Next thing to look for is protein spiking, which is also called amino and nitrogen spiking. Basically what this is what protein companies will do is they'll put the cheapest types of amino acids into the protein. So instead of, the high-end aminos, there'll be individually occurring amino acids that they put in there, which is a sign that you're not looking at a quality protein powder, right? So amino acids are great. They're great purpose for certain things, such as being good with your recovery intra-workout beverage, but they're not ideal for having in your entire protein powder. So nitrogen spiking means that they'll put more of that in the protein than they will have actual protein.
That's just to bring up the protein number. So they can bring it from 15 to 28 grams.
Exactly.
And you don't know the difference when you look at the protein label and it says 28 grams. That's the same as that, but it's $20 cheaper. I'm going with this.
And what it is you'll look and you'll see a whole bunch of fucking proteins or amino acids like leucine, isoleucine, valine, betaine, but you'll see them all individually put down and you'll see like a number for those.
Right.
That's adding to what the protein amount is in grams. You need pure protein. That's what we're looking for here, right? When you get that protein, it'll be synthesized into the amino acids, into the leucines that you need to help shuttle to your muscles, to help shuttle to your body, to help shuttle to your brain. But you don't want a protein that has them listed on there. That's called nitrogen spiking.
It's like going to Chinatown and trying to buy an iPhone.
What?
It's just not going to be the same thing. It's just not going to be an iPhone. It might look like an iPhone. It might have the same, all the same, like on the box, all the same things as an iPhone. Yeah. But it's actually like a Z phone.
It's an
F-Shock. F-Shock. That's what. Oh, when we went to a quick story, Thailand night market, we know all this shit is fake, but we're gonna go shop just for shits and gigs, right?
Totally.
And we're looking for rip-off G-Shocks, actually say G-Shocks.
Yeah.
And even the guy selling them was laughing with us because they were F-Shocks.
They were F-Shocks. They were fucking literally called F-Shocks.
And he was looking at us.
He was laughing like
F-Shock, F-Shock.
No G-Shock, no G-Shock. But we know even the G-Shocks are fake.
Yes.
And they try to, but when you're going now next level, putting F-Shock.
Yeah, that's different. That's so different.
You gotta buy the F-Shock.
Yeah, you gotta buy the
F-Shock. You gotta buy the F-Shock.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, I can't wait to get back to night market, man. I really cannot wait to get back to night market. Okay, we're getting blended formulas. We talked about this already. We talked about this. You gotta look for like a blended formula would be like 40% whey, 30%.
They won't even tell you that. Just
30% soy, but they won't even tell you that.
Yeah, so just a bunch of different protein sources all bunched into one.
Stay away. That's what we're saying. Stay away from those. You talked about this too, label misconceptions. So looking at the label, making sure that if it says what's a good amount of protein to have in your
for an isolate?
Yeah.
It'll be I've seen anywhere between 24 to 28.
And that's
grams.
good.
Yeah, but you know what? That part isn't really the relevant part because that all really depends on what else is in there and then the actual scoop size. So I've seen 30 grams of protein. Oh, this has 30 grams of protein per serving? Oh, the scoop's 35 grams. But I've seen 28 grams at a 30 gram scoop. Smaller scoop, more protein, or like just because there's more protein doesn't mean that there's actually any more protein. It just means that the actual scoop is bigger.
Right.
So like.
So you're just scooping up 35 grams.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not scooping.
So like if you took that same protein and put a 30-gram scoop in it, then you just get less protein than the 35-gram scoop.
Right.
It's 5-gram difference.
Right. Good call. So it may even be less. It may be like 20 grams of protein. Exactly. But when you scoop it up with the scoop, 30 grams of it actually goes in there.
Like the actual size of the scoop is it varies. So you can get 35, 30, 28, 32, et cetera, et cetera.
Makes sense. And then, we talked about this before. Andy really talked about this. Is just cheap protein powder, man. Like concentrate versus isolate, grass-fed versus hormone, raised. You want a grass-fed isolate. You know what I mean? Like you want something that. It's so funny. This last weekend I was talking to at UFC. I was talking to my buddy, and he's like a bodybuilder style fitness guy, and I told him, oh yeah, my new protein powder's coming out, and he's like, oh yeah, what's so cool about your protein powder, whatever. And I'm like, it's grass fed, and he just fucking rolled his eyes, whatever, grass fed, yeah, whatever. And so, but then I told him about the probiotics in it, and I told him because I said, well, yeah, it's grass fed, okay, well, no big deal there. But then when I talked about the probiotics in it, he's like, oh, fuck, okay. Holy shit, that's a different... You just fucking took this from 0 to 100, man. Like, holy shit, okay, I'm listening now. Like, he like, again, there's a lot of people in my life that are very hard. Like, just because I put something out there doesn't mean they're going to fucking drink the Kool-Aid, right? Mm-hmm. But when he was like, I didn't even expect him to be so negative when I said grass-fed, because he was just like, whatever the fuck, that... So fucking what? Yeah. And then I told him about the probiotics that we put in our BC30 Canadian probiotics. We're going to get to that in 2 seconds. And he was just like, okay, now I'm fucking listening. Right. Because he understands that just because you take protein doesn't mean it gets absorbed. Right.
And just another thing to touch up on the grass-fed part is, like, if you care where your meat comes from and you care where your vegetables come from, why don't you care about where your protein comes from? Yeah. So it's just the same... ideology of like, where does your steak come from is like the same as where does your protein powder come from.
And I think he was rolling his eyes because it's like, that's not gonna fucking make or break me. Like, he's one of those he's a hardcore, like, this guy's a hardcore fucking guy. So like, he's not like, he's probably done steroids in the past, so grass-fed protein powder is not gonna really push him away. But when I told him about the probiotics that are in the protein powder that we put together, Lean Pro 30, he really was like, oh, okay, I like this, this is good. Because as I mentioned before, the other problem with protein powders is that our bodies don't actually absorb it. I touched on this before, but it doesn't absorb as much because by the time the protein gets in there, our digestive systems are shot. A lot of us have digestive problems. That's just from the shitty foods that we're eating, not getting enough antibiotics or antioxidants in our foods, not eating healthy, and just putting shit in our bodies is just killing our digestive system. That's why people are having probiotics and digestive enzymes and actually 20% of our population actually gets prescription drugs to deal with their digestive problems, not to mention all the people who just take a regular probiotics. And on top of that, not all probiotics are created equal either, because probiotics, actually what happens is probiotics die. A lot of the probiotic strains die in the manufacturing process from going from hot to cold. Then when they go through that manufacturing process, the strain and the strength of the probiotics have already deteriorated. Then when you're putting it into your body and it's going down to your body, your body's digestive system and all the bad bacteria is actually destroying that probiotic. So by the time it gets to you, it's not even working. So a lot of people take probiotics that still doesn't even work. And so there's specific strains of probiotic like Canadian BC30, which is one of the stronger strains because it has like a coating on it. So it gets through the manufacturing process. Then when it comes to your body, it has that coating that gets it through, and when it gets transported and delivered to your body, then when it gets to the digestive tract, and it can release itself and fight off the bad bacteria and help with digestion and help with synthesizing protein so that it synthesizes into the amino acids that it needs, like leucine, to get to the body, to get to the muscles, to get to the brain. So just on top, so looking for probiotics, you got to look for some of the stronger strains, and you're gonna Ganadin BC30 is one of the stronger ones out there, but there's other ones there. But that's why we made sure that we put BC30 into our protein powder. It's very important that we had that because we wanted to ensure, okay, we've got everything ready, like we've got all our ducks in a row, but then there's just that one little thing that's missing. Oh, well, you've got all this, but who knows if I'm absorbing all of this to begin with? What can we do to make sure that once you take this protein, it actually will start to give you results, because it will get to the muscles that are breaking down, it will get to the body, will get to the brain. Adding that BC30 makes the biggest difference.
And I highly advise Googling studies about BC30.
Tons of studies.
And its effect on protein synthesis and absorption. And actually, beyond protein, it does more than helps. Well, obviously, you get the benefits of probiotics. But there's a whole list. Like, if you just go type it in Google real quick. And also on top of that is we just made sure that we put a good dose per serving. So there's 10 billion cultures of BC30 per serving, and if you go on shelf, you'll usually see between 10 billion and 50 billion. So if you're taking this a couple times a day, then you got yourself covered.
Yeah, you got yourself covered with the probiotics, right? Of course. So watch how much better your digestive tract starts to work as you continually take the protein. That's huge, actually. And there's been so many studies that show the importance. I'm so surprised that more supplement companies don't put this in their fucking products. I really am. Like, I'm blown away that supplement companies aren't doing this. I think maybe just because of the cost, but it's something that, like, for us, we want you to get results. We're results driven. That's what Revamp Nutrition Lab is all about. It's about results. So we need to make sure we get results, because if we sell you this protein and you're not getting results, then you're gonna come back to us and go, you fucking bastards.
Yeah. And it was very important for us to be transparent about it. So now, when you actually go and look at the label at it, you understand what you're looking at. It's not like buy our protein powder, you will get gains. No, you can actually go down the label and see everything that we talked about in this podcast right on there.
Gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, non-GMO, lactose-free, stevia-sweetened, probiotic formula.
New Zealand whey.
28 grams of protein.
93% purity.
28 grams of protein.
For a 30-gram serving.
That's right.
93% purity.
0.5 grams of fat, and
also it's manufactured in an FDA-approved facility, and we also have our CGMP certified as well. So, we covered all our bases on this, made it the best we possibly can, and just tried not to be sketchy whatsoever. Like, it's everything is just right there.
Everything's right there. RevampNutritionLabs.com. Go there. Right now, if you're listening to this right now, before September 27th, or even more, you'll probably till October 7th, you'll get. So we're gonna have a launch. We're gonna have it on sale. We're going to be doing free shipping to selected, U.S., Canada, and some other countries as well. Plus, you're going to get 10% discount because we're going to give you a VIP code. So make sure you go to
Plus bonuses.
Plus bonuses, right? Plus bonuses. So go to Revamp Nutrition Labs right now. If you're listening to this, we're going to put this up hopefully on the 21st. Go to Revamp Nutrition Labs right now. Go get your VIP code, and then we're going to send you an email once we launch. Pre-order the Revamp Nutrition Protein Powder, Lean Pro 30. Last thing before we go, Andy, what are your 2 favorite ways to use your protein powder?
Oh man, that's a great question. I've told people this twice in the past. So there's 2 ways I like to use protein powder, and then I'll get a bit more specific about it. One is just straight up with water. So I like to do the chocolate straight up with water. Half a water bottle with chocolate. To me, it tastes like chocolate milk. Like, it's actually a treat. Like, it's delicious.
You're talking about Lean Pro 30.
Lean Pro 30. Yes. I'm just talking about because I'm using it now.
Yeah.
Even though we haven't started selling it, I have it here.
We have it, yeah.
Luckily, using
Obviously,
it.
we got to use and test it.
Yeah, we're using it. So straight up, the chocolate flavored with water, post-workout, snack, meal, whenever. Really doesn't matter. And then the second way I like to use it, I like to use the vanilla in any of my fruit or vegetable smoothies, because with the vanilla, you get way more of a mild taste. And so when you blend it in a blender with, fruits and vegetables, and you don't get this awkward taste. Like, imagine like chocolates and chocolate flavored protein with spinach and blueberries.
I like that.
I don't like that. Yeah. See, I would put vanilla.
The banana, for me, I always put bananas in my smoothies.
Chocolate banana?
Yeah, well, just a banana.
Yeah, me too.
Because that gives it the taste, and it negates any chocolate or vanilla. But go on, keep going.
So just vanilla with any fruit or vegetable smoothie, and then chocolate as a standalone. And then the times I like to use it, man, there's this when I wake up, after my training, as breakfast, like a fruit smoothie, I like to have get some liquids going before I go to bed. Anytime is great. Whenever I feel it.
Yeah. So for me, I've got 3 times. Sorry, I don't mean to one up you, but I forgot about one time that I was told to use this when I was doing when I was actually getting lean and ripped from when I was at 40, when I was 215 pounds, and I was going through this transformation to 185 pounds, and getting lean. And Rip, what's wrong with your hand, buddy?
I got really bad calluses from powerlifting, and then I accidentally ripped one off, but it ripped deeper than I thought it was, so now I got this really bloody cut right now.
Okay. So the one time that I actually, and here's a fucking tip of the century for you. I'm telling you guys, this works. 100% works. I actually got this from, I can't even remember what it was called way back. It was like one of the first transformations, Body for Life transformation, way back with Sean Phillips and Bill Phillips. Way back in the day, they did this Body for Life thing, and we followed it for a bit. But one of the secrets that they said, and this secret works, is taking it in the middle of the night. So if you wake up and go to the washroom like at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning, because remember I told you that with casein, it's good because it's slow digesting. But this is an isolate, so it's faster absorption, faster digestion. So I would get up at 2 in the morning, and I can't wait to do this again, and just drink, throw it in a bottle of water, shake it up, and drink protein, and it would just be like nice and easy, because our Lean Pro 30 is lactose free, all that stuff, so you're not going to get all the negative side effects, and you just go to bed and it's like nice and smooth. So that's one time, and I guarantee, man, because that's going to be feeding your muscles while you're sleeping. So like I said before, if you are key on building a little bit more muscle, or making sure your muscles are getting fed while they're recovering, while they're repairing at nighttime while you're sleeping, if you wake up, then have it there ready to go from the night before, or just quickly make it, take a drink, and then go on your night. I'm telling you, it's an incredible, amazing tip. It works. I was so muscular when I was adding just that little thing. I mean, there's other things that go on with getting muscular, but that was 100%, man. That worked very well. That must have been the isolate that I was using, because I wasn't getting any, side effects. I also like using it in the morning. So one of the oatmeals. So my oatmeal, my chocolate monkey, funky monkey, or whatever I called it on you see it on YouTube. It was years ago, and I still do it to this day when I'm not intermittent fasting. I will have my protein, and then I'll have my oatmeal. Cook the oatmeal first. Take out the oatmeal once it's cooked. So there's the water and it's cooked. Then I would put a scoop of oatmeal. Then I put a scoop of protein. And then I would chop up either bananas, or I'll put berries to get antioxidants. I'll put strawberries or blueberries or raspberries, and I'd mix it up and then eat that. That's like a perfect morning meal. You've got your carbs, you've got your protein, you've got your antioxidants and fruit. Beautiful way to start off the day. And then the last time it's post-workout for me, whether it's just with my BCAAs or with my. And again, I'm not a big thing for taste, so I don't care about for me, it's about just getting it down. So I'm not there like my wife. My wife sips her BCAAs and she sips. I'm just I'm down in it, man. I just need to get this shit in. So I don't mind mixing it with BCA, whatever BCAAs I'm using, or whatever post workout I have, and then I can go home and eat and make a meal or whatever. Those are the times I like to use them.
Very cold water with the Lean Pro 30 chocolate is
That's the way to go.
Absolute treat.
Very cold water. Okay, guys, there it is, man.
There you go.
I love it. So I hope that helped, guys. I hope you guys were enlightened and you don't fall into the trap of the marketing and advertising and the amazing marketing advertising that supplement companies do today to get you to buy their protein powders. The number one thing they want you to do is spend your money on their supplements, whether they work or not. That's not what their number one goal is. Not every supplement company is like that, but most supplement companies are like that. You know, it's all about the bottom line. And for us, it's more about the results. We're results driven here. You know, the bottom line will come once we deliver results. That's how we look at it. You know, we've got a great team together that, you know, when we first got everyone together and we put our team together and we said, look, man, we're doing this for the results. Okay, the money will come. 100% it will come. No matter what, it will come. Because the more results driven your focus is, the more money you're going to make, because the people are going to have results are going to keep coming. We want repeat customers. We want a family, right?
Right. And we're also people in a health and fitness lifestyle. We're not suit and tie, that kind of like, oh, dude, they won't really know this or that. You know, like, it's not, we care about what we put in our bodies. And so this is, it's been a really crazy couple months.
I like to say this is a passion project, but it's more of a necessity project for me, because I need supplements, man. And I can't take the shit that's out there right now. I gotta make really solid supplements that, you know, science, research, you know, we've got an awesome team, man. We've got an amazing team of people that'll help us to create these supplements, and now we're bringing them to you. And we're excited. We're tired, but we're excited. All right, guys, that's it, man. Thanks so much for joining us. No sponsors. This one. This is a long one, man. This is an hour and 54, almost 2 hours.
Holy, that's our longest one.
It's the longest one so far. But I hope you guys. It's one of those where you just hopefully. Well, if you're at this point, you don't need me to tell you because you've already heard it all. But I hope that you were able to get good information in. You know, whether it took you 2 or 3 times to listen to this, you know, I have to break it up. If you're in your car right now and you're like, all right, man, I can't wait to get the Lean Pro 30. That's what our hopes are. I hope you, at the end of this, say, shit, I can't wait to get that Lean Pro 30, get my hands on it and start using it and start getting the results that you deserve, man. Hard-earned work in the gym, hard-earned money. You know, the thrive and the you know, your to strive for health. That's you know, and longevity and living longer and happier and being happy.
Yeah, just respecting yourself and setting high standards.
Yeah, and no matter where you are right now, listen, it doesn't matter if you're overweight, if you're older, if you've never done martial arts, you're just starting, if you're a pro athlete, if you're at the highest level, if you're, you know, just a weekend warrior, it doesn't matter. We're starting now, right? We're starting now. We're starting to, okay. Like I said, I had all these proteins. I got fucking 3 layers of trays of supplements, and most of them we don't use because it's like, okay, well, I got to stop using the supplement and let's start focusing on putting our money towards Revamp Nutrition Labs supplements.
And throw that weight gainer away.
Throw it away, you bastards.
I think that's about it.
All right, man. Peace. All right.
Peace.
Thanks a lot for joining us. Train hard, fight easy, be positive. Be 1% or be comfortable being uncomfortable, and try to be 1% better than you were yesterday.
And check your underwear if your wife says you shit your pants.
Yeah, no matter what, even if you didn't, check it. All right, guys, we're out. Peace.
You've been listening to the Funk MMA Strength and Conditioning Podcast, hosted by Funk Roberts, certified MMA conditioning coach, master of metabolic training, and fitness expert, bringing you insights on conditioning for all levels of fighters worldwide. Be sure to join us for another podcast.